shit. Good shit. All right. So, question. Next topic.
And that's what's most important. I don't the other that like we're not a bit. It's not a business transaction at all. It's a love transaction.
Yeah. So I think relationships. I think they have business aspects, but I don't know if it should be a business transaction. Like, do you guys feel? Anybody can answer. When you go on that first date, I heard some people characterize it as a interview, as an interview. Is that facts? P, what you think?
You're asking the investigator. Absolutely. Um, but when I go out on a date, chances are I've researched you already, and now I'm asking questions I already have the
You're a
answers
stalker,
to.
bro. Hey, they gotta lock you up, G. What you
Now, I
doing?
have to make sure that this is very real. I have to make sure you're not on a registry. I have to look at your criminal history
Yeah, I mean
because,
she's not on a registry.
Damn.
yeah,
Oh my god.
So criminal history. So what if they had like a assault 2, 3, whatever? That's not that bad, right?
I'm all for it. Protect me, lead me, guide me.
I don't know. I
But
don't know. What is this?
I'm looking for, and this might be because of my work background, right? Like I do child welfare.
Yeah.
I see crazy shit all the time. I'm looking to see if your name is popping up in anything that's either gonna make me want to fight you, put somebody I love in danger, like my sisters or any of my friends or their kids. I'm always around kids. I don't like that's just not something I play with. Now, do I care about your wages being garnished? Maybe, maybe, but like it's readily accessible information, so it's like why wouldn't I? So now that we go on a date, if we're going on a date, one we've already had a conversation. I hope we've had a couple of conversations to get to that point. I want to vibe with you. I'm not going to conduct it as an interview. So tell me why you want to apply here. Why do you want to work for me? Like that's corny. But I will ask questions to see how compatible we are. I am going to throw something in there to be like, when shit gets rough, what do you do? Because I know what I do.
Okay.
Are you drinking alcohol this early in the morning, Pierre?
First of all, yes. No, it's ginger beer.
Okay, I was just checking. I just saw the bottle flash. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know that was
I
hypnotic
couldn't
or
find
what
a
you.
cup.
Okay.
Hypnotic.
Damn. I mean, we're old, but not that
Yeah, bust around. Aisha, is that first date? Is it an interview?
The first conversation, pretty much before I decide to go on a first date, is like he said, I do child welfare too, so I see a lot of stuff. Um, Definitely, I'm not wasting my time. Not at my age.
Yeah, you getting up there. Okay. Um, Alex, is it an interview?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm Googling you. I'm looking at your Facebook. I'm looking at your Instagram, your tag photos. I'm going to look at all of that.
Who
Damn.
liked you? Who's liking you too much?
Who's commenting too much? All that.
Damn. This
I'm
shit's
definitely that friend. I got friends that text me, you know this person? Give me 2 minutes. Here's everything. That's where they live. Go ahead.
Yes.
Q, is it an interview?
Absolutely. If you're smart and you want to see how that person's going to fit into your future, it's definitely going to be an interview. Not in the sense of like an ideal job interview, but I think everybody does it in their own way. Um, I I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just something.
Master Corey, what you think?
Mm, of course, I don't think it's an interview. No, it's not an interview. I'm on the. Apparently, I'm on the by myself in this love thing. My like when I go on a first date, I just want to see if we vibe, see if we connect, see if there's like a spark there, see like it, you know, if, if there's like a connection. I'm definitely not pre-googling you like.
But that's your interview process, though, right? Like to see if I feel like when we're using the term interview, we're just
No, I'm just
making it
going to see if there's a
specifically
natural connection.
right. So just like when you go
Right.
for a job interview, after said individual has made the certain requirements they look good on paper, but now let me bring you in person to see how we vibe. How do you connect with the team? Let me see what you're about in person. So you've done your unofficial research when you've decided, okay, you know what? Am I attracted to this person? Does our time work out together? So now you're there in the actual in-person interview when you're on that date. And if you two don't vibe together, you decide, you know what? I'm good. We're gonna go our separate ways. So I think we've been doing that even before the Google searching of people was a thing. Now we have the extraness and the ability to really go to deep dive into an individual.
Right. I agree with Alex.
So
I'm not
you,
Googling people before I go on dates with them. It's not
yeah,
happening. I'm not.
probably not.
I'm not. It's not. I'm not doing that.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you used to go through the phone book, right? You're of the phone book generation.
I
Awesome.
ain't going through no phone book. I ain't going through none of that. I'm gonna be. I'm a. I can tell. I can tell from meeting a person if they're the type of person that I would like to know. I ain't. I'm not checking no registries. I ain't doing that.
But you know how you can tell if you're gonna vibe with them because you've already done an internal interview. It
Right.
might not be as formal as what we're talking about, but you're like you're always constantly assessing, right? It's an assessment. Are we gonna vibe? I can enjoy you. I don't have to ask you questions. I don't have to pre-Google you anything. But as humans, our natural thing is to compare. You walk into a building, you walk into a club, you are interviewing the club and the people there. Is this someplace I want to be? Do I like the music? How do you serve me? It's the
Right.
same thing when you go on a date. Oh
So
wait, what did you say?
Mary Berry said that, she's not gonna do a bunch of research until she thinks it makes sense. Which I kind of understand. I kind of agree. Like
Yeah. I get.
I, the one thing about interviews is there's always a representative in place, both from the interviewer and the interviewee. And so I never treated it as such because I want to be genuine and be myself, and I hope the other person can do the same. If I'm approaching it like an interview, then there's a certain level of facade, right? Some people less than others, but some are you being your actual self if you're conducting it or treating it as an interview, you know?
Uh, I think we kind of got away from what the ideal interview is though, because like I think there's a way that we all do it, and it's not going to necessarily be you doing mad research on this person. It could just be that as they're talking, you're listening to them and you're making mental notes like, okay, I see you. That works for me. Okay, that doesn't. It's the same shit. No one's just
Ex-
in your life just because they popped up, they look pretty, you like certain shit about them. Everybody does it. A
you-
slight type of interview, I feel.
you're right, except for the fact that this bottom row is researching.
Yeah.
Well, that's
No, but
them. That's some other
It's the
shit.
Google
no,
gang.
but I
Yeah.
said in addition
Yeah.
too.
Google gang down here.
And I'm gonna stick beside him.
And I said in addition to though, but to Corey's point, when he is there on the date, maybe we're not using the term interviewing, but he's checking out to see, okay, does this work? Do we work out together? Do I want to have a second date with you? So maybe
Oh,
not the term interviewing,
yeah, that's not
but
an
I'm
interview though.
assessing the situation between you and I.
Right.
But the interview I think is more like I'm not like asking probing questions, like trying to figure out, hey, so what do you work at? What do you do? Like I'm just like
You know.
I'm just enjoying the person as a person. I'm not asking like interview type questions. I think that's the difference. I'm not saying so. What school did you go to? What have you been doing? Can you explain this downtime in your life? Like I'm just
I've heard of some people doing things like that.
I'm just
That's
like, yo, did you watch the show last? Did you watch the
Wait,
verses
people
last
do
night? You
that?
know what I'm saying? I'm just enjoying the person as a person and figuring out if I like them as a person. I'm not asking interview type questions.
You can interview somebody by just having a conversation with them.
No,
Right.
that's
I
not
was
an
just about to
interview.
say that. Yeah.
That I mean, technically, so because Corey likes to be real particular with his words, right? His syntax. So
Mhm.
let's replace the word interview, and what word would you give us? Because either way, we're all saying the same. We are literally all saying the same thing. I don't think I can only speak for myself. I've never gone to an interview and said, "So what do you do? How much money do you make?" I'm not researching that. I'm researching the things that one matter to me because also if I'm going on a date, chances are I'll be by myself
Mhm.
in a place that I'm unfamiliar with, right? Those are other like that's a background thing. But if I'm meeting somebody and we're just vibing or whatever, the same question of, oh my God, or conversation, work was crazy today, da 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 da. You're naturally going to go into what they do.
That makes sense. I
The
think,
conversation is going to flow.
yeah, I think that's fair. I think, yeah, there's some portions of every single date where you are doing some like uncovering, or you get some more understanding about the person, see if they make sense. I think one thing for us, Corey, is that we are dating women, right? So we don't have the same fear, right? Because we don't have like a, can this woman accost me, right? Like, can she, beat me up, stuff like, we're not thinking like that. So some of the other things make sense. Alex, we at the end, I promise. So hey, awesome conversation. Like, share, subscribe. This might be risky. Listen, I don't fuck with Jerry Springer, but I'm gonna take one of his constructs.
Hey man, love come first in your relationship, man. That's my final message, man. Love come first.
All right.
Love is not enough.
How you gonna I can't stand you.
Love is not enough.
I say self-love is the best love.
Oh, hell.
Fuck all that shit. Do your research and make good choices.
Google gang. Google gang.
Google gang.
Google gang.
Girl, interview that man and save yourself your time.
This might be risky. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we out.
All right.